Yes, sir. And
Con,
saying we live now, my brother.
con,
Check right quick. I'm pretty sure we're good. I just like to check just to make sure.
con.
Yeah, we're live. Hey, Shalom Akim. We
Shalom.
want to give all praises to Yahweh by Yashem, Yahweh Shah, by Yashem Wakakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders that rule well. And peace and blessings to you brothers out there that's kicking his word and sincerity, also the truth. Um, everything that's been going on, with Esau, labeling us as, black extremists. Um, it's very, ironic they will call us extreme. When with every civilization they have came in contact with, they have placed the indigenous people into severe captivity. You know, you would think that people would deem them as extreme, but through his lies and his treachery, he's able to you know, place other people or deem other people as terrorists or heathens, as justification for killing them. And he's seen as the beacon of light, which is nothing new. Edom has always, been our accuser for centuries. Centuries he has used his lies and deceit, in order to push his wicked agenda. And the whole term black extremist, is nothing new under the sun. You see, it's nothing new under the sun, man. So we wanted to grab a couple of scriptures and also give a couple of examples of how the so-called white man has used that sword, that that not the actual sword, but that figurative sword, which is his tongue, as a means to put to rationalize, that's a better term, him destroying the nation of Israel, which consists of you so-called Negroes, Latinos and Native Americans, man. So we'll go ahead and dive into it. Share the screen. We'll get to it. Brother, do you have anything to say?
Set the tone for the water.
Huh. All right. So we'll start in Revelation 12 and 10. Brother, you mind reading that?
All right. So it says, Revelation 12 and 10, and I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our power and the power of his Mashiach. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, which accused them before our power day and night.
That's right. So we understand by prophecy who that son of perdition is spoken about in Second Thessalonians, the second chapter. Which this man was to exalt himself, you know, above all that is called God. And we know that to be who? By a process of elimination, the so-called white man. With his pseudoscience, he's able to deem himself as the most, quote, evolved being on the face of the earth, and he used that as justification, for destroying, you know, the nation of Israel, man, you know, and that word accuser, we'll look that up. The brother brought this to my attention yesterday. I thought that this term was very, very intriguing, man. You know, he used, he accuses us, you know, first and foremost, to the Most High, for by basically, indirectly making us go off, case in point, a small example that's come to mind, putting bay cars in our car in our communities, to
Yeah.
induce to steal. You see that? You see what I'm saying? Why is that? Well, he does that, to point out to the Most High that look, these are the guys that are going off. These are the guys that are heathens. These are the guys that are wicked, not us. You see, and he does that, and so on different levels, with his judicial system, and also with his media, man. So that word accuser, let's see here, it was a
Yep.
categorio. That word categorio, that's actually the root word for category. And I actually looked this up yesterday. You had brought this to my attention, brother. I thought this was very intriguing. That word category, if you look up the etymology of that word, I don't know if you can see my screen, brother.
Con, I can see it.
Okay, beautiful. That word categoria, it comes from what? That same root word, you see?
Mm.
Categorios, categoria, accuser, you see?
Mm.
Statement, accusation, you see? And so the so-called white man has, demonized us and accused us of all these wicked things, which, 2/3 of our people are wicked, but who places, these numerous stumbling blocks in our communities, to induce our people to go off? Who puts, poison in our food to bug us out, lead in our water, you know, and things of that nature, fluoride in the water to make our man effeminate. Who does all these things? The so-called white man. You see, and ultimately he does that for his control, man. Okay, so that word accuser again, that's categorio, and that means to accuse before a judge, to make an accusation of an judicial accusation, and that's the so-called white man. You know, he demonizes us and put all these false terms on us, you know, in order for him to justify destroying and maiming us, man. And we see that done throughout history. You see what I'm saying? You had some, my brother?
Yeah, Con, brother.
Hmm.
One thing I also found interesting, when you look at that word categoreo, it's when it's also used. Other times it's used in the scriptures is when our people were accusing Yahushua, of being, and not of divine inspiration, what I'm saying, of being a liar or so on and so forth. And our people come in that spirit of Esau, the self-proclaimed white man. That's where it comes from, like it says in John 8:44, you have the father of the devil.
Hmm.
Um, but I have this precept here in
Okay.
Jeremiah 50, and
Ah,
Jeremiah 50 and 6.
beautiful.
I'll
Okay,
start at 6.
I was just going to grab that, bro. Beautiful.
Con.
Excellent. Okay, I'll read it for y'all. This is
Con.
Jeremiah 50:6. My people have been lost sheep. The shepherds have caused them to go astray. They have turned them away unto the mountains. They have gone from mountain to hill. They have forgotten their resting place.
Links up with the scripture in Isaiah 30 that talks about 30:1 that talks about they basically seek counsel but not of me. All
Uh-huh.
right, they're trying to find a way to to make it. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, the book of Haggai talks about that too. Even when the Most High brought us back into the land of our fathers, all
Hmm.
right, out of captivity, and we were set up to build the temple, we just got complacent and we was chilling. You know what I'm saying? And the Most High was preventing us from really flourishing in those early years when we set the foundation, because we didn't continue to build. We stopped, and so people have that. They have that. They have the something within themselves that basically prevents them from greatness because they don't seek the Most High.
Hmm.
You go ahead, bro.
All that found them have devoured them, and their adversaries said, "We offend not, because they have sinned against Yahweh, the habitations of justice, even Yahweh, the hope of their fathers."
Right. Because it says all the found have devoured them. those wolves among the sheep. All right, because our people are likened unto sheep, right? As it says in verse 6, all that found them have devoured them. Who are those that found us? Okay, who is the man that came over here in America, all right, and found the Israelites dwelling in harmony and peace. Okay, found the northern tribes dwelling peacefully. There's none other than the self-proclaimed white man. All right. Same deal with the point that the Elder Ariala makes in our camp. When has the self-proclaimed white man ever went into a land and just got along and dwelt peaceably with him? That it's never, man. Okay, because he's a bloody man, you know.
That's right.
And ultimately, God, did you finish the reading the verse, bro?
I did. Want me to read it again, brother?
Yeah, just come, Bubble Shot.
Con. Now this is Jeremiah 50 and 7. And all that found them have devoured them, and their adversaries said, we offend not, because they have sinned against Yahweh, by Yeshua Yahushua, the habitation of justice, even Yahweh, the hope of their fathers.
Right. And that's the point. That's the only reason why the self-proclaimed white man, which is the lowest, the basest man on the earth, is in this position right now because we messed up as a nation. And so Esau is really, really enjoying the fact that he's able to show his horns. All right. And you've seen this over the course of hundreds of years. All right. Ever since it goes back to when he first got in power, during the Grecian Empire. All right. And then, that rebirth, that renaissance. Ever since then, he's been terrorizing the earth, all right, conquering and killing people, being absolutely demonic, in every way that you can imagine.
That's right. All in the name of his false or his wicked philosophies, whether it be, his so-called Christianity, which is not Christianity, it's really paganism, and also his pseudosciences going into eugenics, social Darwinism, saying Darwinism, things of that nature. And if you do your research on those latter um, uh, social sciences that I just named, all the founders of those three men, well, those three philosophies were cousins, man. You had
Mm.
Francis Darwin, you had Herbert Spencer, and you had Charles Darwinism. They were all cousins. That was a family of people who perpetuated those lies and said that the so-called white man was a dominant race, which is impossible because they're built, with recessive genes. How can they be the dominant race? You see, but that goes back to the main topic. They use these lies in order to condone the wickedness, man. You see, let's grab this in Daniel 8 and 25. That I'll read it, bro.
You sure?
Okay, kind of. I you were still there. I was like,
No, no,
go
no.
ahead,
I
you
got
can read it, bro.
you.
Kind
I didn't freeze up. You said
all
Daniel
right,
8 and
God.
25.
Uh-huh.
Okay, con. This Daniel chapter 8, verse 25. It says, and through his policy, he shall cause craft to prosper in his hand.
That's right. And we seen that happen for centuries. See, going back to what I said earlier, he used religion as a means to perpetuate his his
Mm.
craftiness, or his lies. You see what the brother had, and the brother brought out a beautiful article to my attention, which we're gonna pull after we finish this verse here. You see, go ahead.
Con. Con. It says, and he shall magnify himself in his heart, and by peace he shall destroy many.
Mhm.
He he shall also stand up against the prince of princes, but he shall be broken without hand.
That's right. Now this is talking about the future prophecy. Ultimately, all these lies that the so-called white man has perpetuated and used, you know, as a means to control the world. You see, those lies are going to be torn down, man, by Yahweh Shah returning. You see, and also, he's doing that with us. You know, we are the spokesman It represents the ambassadors, if you will, of Yahweh Shai. And we are here telling the truth against this man. And so what is he doing now? Well, he's reverting back to that sword, which a part of that sword is the media and those feigned words, which means false words. There's those feigned words that he uses in order to again to put people under his what's the word I'm looking for? His trance or his spell, man. You see, but we're out here crying aloud, sparing not. You know, we're making our we're making our forehead hard against their forehead, man. You see, because we had the truth. The scriptures say in Jeremiah 17:17, to sanctify with their truth. That word is truth, man. And that's why we are a problem, and that's why we are being deemed as black extremists, which we here at GMS have said numerous times. We don't consider ourselves black, because even calling yourself black, that goes back to who, Edomite, the Edomite false doctrine, man. You see, Johannes Blumenbach made the whole term of black and things of that nature, man. Calling us Africans and things of that nature. We're not Africans. We are the lost tribe of Israel. If you do research on Blumenbach, if you simply Google him and look in Wikipedia, he tells you, man, that not all, loosely paraphrasing, not all so-called Africans are alike. Let you know that this dude knew what it was. He knows that, that just because we're dark skinned doesn't mean that we come from Ham. He knew that, but what was he doing? Well, he was pushing that Edomite supremacy, man. You know, and again, a huge part of that Edomite supremacy is what the lie of Christianity, man.
Woo!
So let's grab this, the doctrine of discovery, and I'll read it because you can expound on it better than me, my brother. This is Dom Diversius. Now the Pope, Papal Bull Dom Diversius, Pope Nicholas V issued the Papal Bull Dom Diversius on the 18th of June, 1452. It authorized Alfonso V of Portugal to reduce any Saracens, Muslims, and pagans, and any other believers to perpetual slavery. This facilitated the Portuguese slave trade from West Africa. Want me to keep going, brother?
The time. All right, this is June 1452. All right, and then we know that Christopher Columbus, he came, and this so happened to be, his day that commemorates the day that he he didn't step foot on America, so I don't even know what it's supposed to commemorate, really. I guess just the demonic energy that he spread. Who knows, right? But this is about a good 40 years before he actually set foot on this side of the hemisphere. I'll just say it like that, because he landed in the Caribbeans, and so this was before he came, right? So Esau, by the way, if you look, we'll read some more, but that Pope Alexander, he was an Edomite, you know what I'm saying? But we'll read some more.
Okay. The same Pope wrote the Bull Romanius Pontifex on January the 5th, 1455, to the same Alfonso as a follow-up to the Dom Diversius. It extended to the Catholic nations of Europe domination over discovered land during the Age of Discovery, along with sanctifying.
Right now, you finish the paragraph.
Okay, along with sanctifying the seizure of non-Christian lands It encouraged the enslavement of native, non-Christian people in Africa and the New World.
And so whenever brothers get a chance, if you can read, and now it was original in Italian, I believe, or Latin, one of the two.
Like,
I
look like.
believe it was Latin. Yeah, I believe it was Latin. But you could read a translation of the Dumb Diverses just to see the mindset, and it is a little bit difficult read because it was written in that old fashion. But if you read it, about how basically that doctrine of discovery is somebody who is not a Christian, and exactly what through his policy, all right, Esau has conquered the earth, through that sword, which is his tongue, all right, in this instance, right, because the paper bowl was actually written with a pen, right, which is his word, his Esau's decree, which when you read it right there, it talk about anybody who is not a Christian enslaved of natives, Native American Indians, and you see what happened to them. We don't. Come on, man. We don't even have to go into that to see what the result of that was.
That's right. Yep. Which has nothing to do with the scriptures, man. People want to make the argument that you know, you know, uh, the Bible has slavery. There's a difference between biblical slavery and chattel slavery, man. In which when you have certain pacts, biblically speaking, we don't have to get it. When you have certain pacts with people of that land, you're not supposed to wage war on them after you had that pact, man. That's a clear violation of the scriptures, man. You know what I'm saying? And this what's that dumb the virus that has nothing to do with the scriptures. You see, it was made up by the so-called white man in order to do what? To destroy and to maim people, bro. Totally take the land, strip on their land. You see what I'm saying? And you're not supposed to do that according to the scriptures.
Man, bro, Slock it, man. When you look into this devil, he's dude that
Mm. Go ahead, out.
all right, he literally took an image of a white Messiah or a Caucasian Messiah, Edomite Messiah, and said, "Look, this is me." He came up in there like, "This is me. I am God." It kind of reminds me of that movie El Dorado. You know what I'm saying? They thought those conquistadors over there were gods. You know what I'm saying? That's really what they thought, man. I mean, when Esau used that sword, man, and anybody who tried to buck up against what his policy was, which is I am God, they got cut up, man. They got tortured, all types of stuff. So that's why our people they just it's been ingrained in them to serve Esau. That's why you got the northern tribe so heavy in that Catholic Christianity BS, man, because that's all they know. That's what conquered them.
Yep.
You got it, bro.
God, I have a real quick scripture. Just to prove what I was saying. Numbers 35 and 30. Oh, oh. Whoso killeth any person, the murderer shall be put to death. Well, actually, that's not what I want. That's a good one. I actually wanted 33. But I just read this and go down. Whosoever killeth any person, the murderer shall be put to death by the mouth of witnesses, but one witness shall not testify against any person to kill him to die. The point really was in 33. So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed by of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it. You're not supposed to be going to anybody else's land and shedding blood. You see, if you were to do that, then guess what? You're actually supposed to die. You're supposed to die, man. So how much more so for the nation of Edom that went to these various lands and just totally killed and maimed the indigenous people of that land, man. You know, all because of an unrighteous decree, in which they just simply made up. They just made it up, man. You see, Most High's not dealing with that, man. Do you want me to go back to the article, my brother?
Yeah, it expands on it a little bit more. You know,
Okay, God, we can
it
do it.
kind of quotes it.
God, do it. We're in paragraph 3. We waiting are all in singular the premises with due meditation and noting that since we had formerly by other letters of our granted, among other things, free and ample uh, facility, faculty, Slaki, to the aforesaid King Alfonso to invade, search out, capture, vanquish. You see that? Hold on. To invade, search out, capture, vanquish, and subdue all Saracens and pagans whatsoever and other enemies of Christ wheresoever place and the kingdoms, dukedoms, principalities, dominions, possessions, and all movable and immovable goods whatsoever held and possessed by them, and to reduce their persons to perpetual slavery. Perpetual means they're gonna go, and whoever doesn't believe what they believe in, they're gonna go take put them in perpetual slavery and also possess everything that they have. That's what it say right there. And the so-called white man, he's so cold that he uses that tongue to make it sound, not so bad. Yeah, we're just gonna go and possess the, this is literally like a contract in which you would read, you know, dealing with a lease or something like that. Hella convoluted. You don't know what he's saying, so it sounds smart, so you just agree with it. And this dude is talking about killing people, thousands, millions of people, man. The Native Americans, 98% of the Native Americans were decimated. All because of decrees just like this, man. You see?
God.
And to apply and appropriate to himself and his successors the kingdoms, dukedoms, countries, principalities, dominions, possessions, and goods, and to convert them to his and to their and profit by having secured these said faculty and possessed and doth possess uh, these islands, lands, harbors, and seas, and they do of right belong and pertain to the said king Alfonso and his successors. So basically, we're going to take everything that you own, your kingdom, your dukedom, or, whatever you want to call your said land, and we're going to possess it, you know, and we're going to give it to the king Alfonso and his posterity. That's what it said right there in
Yep.
a nutshell.
Yep. That's Esau's spirit, man. And I had a precept just going into that because you basically broke it down beautifully, brother. I just
Mm-hmm.
want to go ahead and read this real quick because we see the grand scope of things in Sirach chapter 10 in verse 8.
Okay, you're right.
Yeah, Khan.
No, you good.
You know,
I'm gonna get right quick.
Khan.
Look right quick.
Yeah, man. Because Esau, he just whatever he sees, man, he just wants to take. He's a parasite. You know, if the world was just full of Edomites, he'd just kill himself. He can't survive without other people to leash on to, which is why the world is dying because he's in power. He's sucked out all the resources of the other nations now. He just maximum wickedness is on the earth. But yeah,
Right.
Sirach 10 and 8.
Okay.
If you want, I can go ahead and read it here. I got it pulled up.
I got you right here, bro.
Con.
I got you right here, bro. This is Sirach 10 and 8. Because of unrighteous dealings, injuries, and riches got by deceit, the kingdom is translated from one person to another.
Right, man. Okay. Every that scripture right there, it really hits home when you read history like this, because that's exactly what Esau is notorious of. All right. Unrighteous dealings. All right. You just going to just decree a decree that's just hella just didn't take counsel with nobody, but now it's 2018. You want to have a United Nations Council. Everybody talking. No, man.
Yeah.
This is back there. When you go back in the early, half of the well, I'll just say shortly after the Renaissance, during the time of the Renaissance, and really, like back then when before everything was really modernized, man, you can really see what Esau's real intentions were, because he didn't know how long he's going to be on the earth. He just wanted to set everything up to where he could just rule the earth. So you really see his intentions when you see the moves that he made, man. And the dumb diverse is a good example of that. So you got injurious dealing, unrighteous dealings, injuries, all right, genocide, man.
Genocide.
Millions of people slaughtered, bro, over the very short course of a couple hundred, maybe a couple hundred years. You know what I'm saying? Depending on how you look at it.
Yep. Ridiculously slaughtered. And they did it under the name of Christianity, which they were not worth. They weren't following after Christianity, man. They weren't following after the Bible, man. First off, they can't, because it's not given unto them. These scriptures are only for the nation of Israel. But if you go into the history of the Catholic Church, they were hella going off, man. Selling forgiveness. I forget the term for it. It's like called indulgences. Selling, hella putting the people under subjection. The Catholic Church became filthy rich, man. That's why you had the Reformation age, with the Protestants and all that, man.
Yep.
And Martin Luther. Why is that? Because they were the Catholic Church. They wouldn't allow people to read the scriptures and things of that nature, man.
That's right. They only had it in Latin.
They only had it in Latin. Yep. So they had to dictate, the scriptures to their followers, man. And then you think these Catholics priests would just started raping little boys 100 years ago? You know that was going on back then. Popping little boys, man. Saying that they were the virgins talking about in Revelation 4, the 14th chapter, so they wouldn't marry women. It's ridiculously going off, man. These people had nothing to do with the scriptures. Not to mention the Trinity, which is paganistic.
Yeah, all that stuff, man.
All that stuff
that Esau pushes in these churches, that's why these Catholics are so damn bugged out, because it's just so far left. It's just so far left from reality, man. It doesn't make any sense. Ever since Esau during the time of the Renaissance has gotten into power, he's just done nothing but miscategorize or accuse us of things that we aren't guilty of. He's a hypocrite.
He's the biggest hypocrite.
Yeah.
He put you in scenarios in which you're gonna go off. We can't keep the law to the best of our ability. We can't even be man here in this society.
Right.
Right. According to the scriptures.
God.
Hey,
if I may, I had another precept going just based on what you just said. It's in Zechariah. Unless you asked from Salaki.
No, Salaki. I was going to say the brother Kapatazat from Chicago had posted something. Hey, Shalom, big homie. I want to read his scriptures. That's okay.
God, Baruch Shah.
Okay, now this is Psalms 55 and 21. The words of his mouth were smoother than butter, but war was in his heart. His words were softer than oil, yet were they drawn swords. And that's the so-called white man to the teeth. Just going back to the main topic, he's demonizing us as so-called black extremists, which we adamantly say that we're not black, But this dude here has done nothing but make rape, rob, and murder the masses, man. Especially the so-called Negro, Latino, Native American. Shouldn't every single time that we walk by so-called white people, we should be grabbing at our wallets. Our women should be clenching their purses. But it's the other way around. They look at us like we the thugs. Dog, generally speaking, the so-called white man has been ridiculously murderous, man. Like on another level. Like, you did what? You
Right.
sometimes you read things that happen in history. Was like, is this even possible? You know what I'm saying? Like, you just gonna feed children out to alligators, bro? You did that, bro? Like, what would make you do some shit like that? But I'm the bad guy for pointing that out, for saying that the higher power is gonna destroy you for that. Come on, man.
God.
This guy's on this guy is out of control, and the most I gotta stop him, man. But
God.
what did you want, my brother?
I wanted to get Zechariah chapter 1, and you can start at verse 6. You know,
Okay.
you know what I'm saying? Because the thing is, man, the reason why Yahweh Shem Yahshua has us, preaching and teaching this word, called us from out of the world, from being, having a filthy lifestyle, to preaching and teaching this holy word, is to tell our people what the end game is. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so all these things are being recognized. This is well documented throughout history. So now what? What's the recompense? Where do we go from here? Right? So we're gonna read this in Zechariah 1 and what I say, verse 13.
You say I thought you said 6, like it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, Zechariah 1 and 13, and we'll read down to 17.
Okay. Zechariah 1 and 13. And Yahweh answered the angel that talked with me with good words and uncomfortable words, saying, so the angel that communed with me said unto me, cry thou, saying, thus said Yahweh of hosts, I am jealous for Jerusalem and for Zion with a great jealousy. And I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease, for I was but a little displeased, and they helped for the affliction. Woo! Yep.
Right. You
You going,
see?
bro?
So this is the message of the.
No, so like I didn't know if you want me to keep going. So like,
I just want to say something real quick. That this is the message of the. Okay. News. Okay. Because it's how he act and deliver his people, but he also is going to require the kingdom. But we keep going.
God. Um, verse 16. No, verse 15. I am very sore displeased with the heathen that are at ease, for I was a little displeased, and they helped forward the affliction. And therefore, thus said Yahweh, I am turned to Jerusalem with mercies. My house will be built in it, said Yahweh of hosts, and a line shall be stretched forth upon Jerusalem. Cry yet, saying,
Con.
oh,
No, you.
okay, Slaki. Cry yet, saying, thus saith Yahweh of hosts, my cities through prosperity shall yet be spread abroad, and Yahweh shall yet comfort Zion, and shall yet choose Jerusalem.
Right. So these words, man. Okay, this is a hope that allows us to push on. In the highways and byways, and we're suffering. The persecution of the unbelievers, or of Esau, slander on us and saying and all that stuff. Like this, that's which is the reason why it was written down, for us to continue to push on, man. Is like it says in verse 14. He is jealous for Jerusalem and for Zion. All right. Meaning that he wants to take his possession back, because Esau, all right, and these other nations, but in Esau, the self-proclaimed white man, he has us in the palm of his hands. You know what I'm saying? We
Yeah,
don't try,
we through.
and
Yep.
he's put us in this to where he's just gonna finish us, unless, like I said, well, verse 16 and 17, unless we back out of Esau's hand. Because the Most High, the reason why he put us in captivity was because he was displeased with us. He was. It says for a bit displeased, and they held for displeased with us as a nation, which is why he put us in captivity overboard. All right, these other nations, particularly, all right, they went overboard, man. They too much. They said, "Well, I can't wait till we get them in captivity." You know what I'm saying? After that, they think niggas are gonna get away.
Yeah, yep, that's right.
He gonna come back with vengeance.
That's right. Hey, Yak, are you connected to your Wi-Fi?
Salakia, man. I am. Then I'll just follow. I'll read or something.
No, no, no. It's just you kind of breaking up a little bit, not too much, but I want to see if you connect to your Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I'm on there.
Okay, good. That's all right. Satan just hating. All right, 36. Yeah. Just pull this on 11:36. Just read that. Read the first part. Now this is Daniel 11:36, and the king shall do according to his will, and he shall exalt himself and magnify himself above every god, and shall speak marvelously things against the God of gods, and shall prosper till the indignation be accomplished. For that is determined shall be done. You know what I'm saying? Now this was during the time with these Syrian uh, uh, wars in particular going into uh, um, uh, Antiochus Epiphanes, man. And what did Antiochus Epiphanes do? Well, he set a decree to make everybody one people. And for those of us who refuse to follow after his way, he demonized us and called us and basically call us terrorists, man, like we see going on now. And this has always been the so-called white man's MO, from whether it be the Greeks, or the Romans or the Americans, man, to make people totally assimilate into their culture, man. You see what I'm saying? Let's see here. Actually, it's like what, 36?
Let me see. First
Yeah,
Maccabees.
Maccabees. Yeah,
Yep. You could, yeah, 36.
about
You said
36. What you say out?
Oh, I was saying 37, 36.
37, 36. I'm gonna start at let's start at 36. I mean 37. I can't.
You want me to
Yeah,
read it?
yeah, Baba Kashar, 36.
All right. First Maccabees 1 and 36. It says, "For it was a place to lie in wait against the sanctuary, and an evil adversary to it. Thus they shed innocent blood on every side and defiled it, much that the inhabitants of Jerusalem fled because of them, whereupon the city habitation of strangers and became strange to mourn in her, and her own children left her."
Hey, jump down to 41.
Verse 41. Moreover, king to his whole kingdom should be one people. Leave his laws, and so all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. Yea, so the Israelites concealed his religion and sacrificed unto idols and
Mm-hmm. That's right. So you had King Antiochus, Slocky, brother. You had King Antiochus. He made a decree and said, you know what? Everybody should leave their particular laws and their customs and become a part of us, or become Hellenists, man. And when you read up on the Greek Empire, that's one thing that's historically speaking is talked about often, the Hellenization of these various nations, man. It got to the point to where Greek uh, 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 Greek became the nation of what the language of commerce. A lot like what you see now. You see, and for those who didn't want to follow after the Greek way or become Hellenistic, guess what? They were destroyed, man. Same thing you see going on now. You see, those of us who don't want to become American, don't want us want to uh, become liberal or don't want to have so-called liberal thinking or democratic thinking. Case in point, accepting homosexuality and transgenderism, and pedophilia, and all this other madness. You see, we are the enemy to this state. We are the problem to this place, man. We are considered black extremists. You see, go ahead, out.
Continuing on in 44, Slovakia. Yea, many has consented to his religion and sacrificed unto idols and profane the Sabbath. For
That's
the
right. So
king,
I'm sorry, Alex. So you have a lot of our people who are sellouts, man, who want to follow out you know, the way of the so-called white man. And one of prime example that come to mind for me is that nigga Kanye West, man. He's a complete Hellenist. He's a complete Hellenist, man. This nigga walking around with America, what make America great again hat on. When America was great, your people was in captivity, bro. Boy, you see? But he has consented to the way of the heathen. You see? Go ahead,
verse 44. For the king letters by messengers unto Jerusalem and the city, that they should follow the strange laws of the and forbid burnt offerings and sacrifice and drink offerings in the temple and profane the Sabbaths and festival days.
That's right. So, under that decree, we couldn't follow after our way, man. We had to totally do away, with our culture, with the which are the laws, statutes, commandments of the scriptures. Couldn't follow after the circumcise your children, things of that nature. You had to become a Greek, you see, and if you didn't become a Greek, guess what? You know, you were killed. You see, you were seen as a terrorist. You were seen as a threat. You see what I'm saying? Go ahead, huh?
All right, Khan. In verse 46, and pollute the sanctuary and holy people, set up altars and groves and chapels of idols, and sacrifice swine's flesh and unclean beasts,
Mm-hmm.
that they should also leave their children uncircumcised and make their souls abominable with all manner of uncleanness and profanation.
And that's the same sentiment that you see here in America. Don't worry about following the Bible. The Bible is that's old news. We all need to come together and become one. And if you don't agree with that, well, I hate you. And then in the same sense, they say, I'm only saying this because I love you. A lot of scoffers say that in the highways and byways. The brothers from Florida did a beautiful job. You had this Edomite come and throw a bottle at him. And, in one sentence, he's saying how much that he hates them. And then he says, you know what, we all need to come together and just love. And that's the same sentiment that you see in these scriptures, man. And also in these Edomites, man. They're gonna hate you if you don't agree with them. You see, and they'll demonize you if you don't agree with them, man. Go ahead, Art.
Continuing on in verse 49, it says, to the end they might forget the law and change all the ordinances.
Mm-hmm.
And whosoever would not do according to the commandment of the king, he said he should die.
That's right. So if you didn't follow after what these Greeks deemed right, guess what? You will die.
Right.
You will be killed. You see, and that's what times that we're coming into. We're
Man,
coming at times to where this guy's going to accuse us or categorize us as terrorists. Why is that? Because we're standing up for the will of Yahweh by Shem Shah. So we're making ourselves or we have became a threat to this government, man. You see? Can you read that in Isaiah 29 and 21?
Con. Isaiah chapter 29, verse 21. That make a man an offender for a word, and lay a snare for him that reproveth in the gate, and turn aside the just for a thing of naught.
That's right. So they make a man an offender for the word, man. And they set up snares. What does that word snares means? It means a trap, man, for us that reprove or correct the people at the gate. What is the gate? What does that symbolize in the chief place of concords? You know, within these various cities going to the you know, uh the busy streets or the main streets of these particular or the downtown. That's where I'm looking for the downtowns for these particular cities and proclaiming the gospel, man, the good news for the so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. We are a threat. Why is that? Because we're standing up for the will of Yahweh by Shem Yahweh Shah, man. We out here telling Esau, man, you're going down, you know? So he's going to accuse us. He's going to deem us as black extremists, black Hebrew Israelites, you know? And it's no different from what we see in the scriptures. And another beautiful example of that is in the edition of Esther in the 13th chapter. You see, you had Hagar, the Agagite, or the Macedonians, as he's described in the 16th chapter of the editions of Esther. He was trying to get us totally destroyed, man, slaughtered the whole nation. Why is that? Because our laws were contrary to his laws and also to the world's law.
Mm.
You know, can you read that in 13 and 3? I actually start at 2 if you don't mind.
Con. All right. It's additions to Esther 13 and 2.
Actually, start at 1, big homie. I'm sorry.
Con, call to our brother. Verse
Hmm.
1. The copy of the letters was this. The great king Artaxerxes writeth these things to the princes and governors that are under him from India unto Ethiopia, and 127 provinces. After that, I became Lord over many nations and had dominion over the whole world, not lifted up with presumption of my authority, but carrying myself with equity and mildness. I purpose to settle my subject eventually in a quiet life, and making my kingdom peaceable and open for passage to the utmost coasts, to renew peace, which is desired of all men.
So you had
But
Artaxerxes. He was trying to set up a peaceable government. You know that was equal, like he said, to all his subjects. And if you do research on the Persian Empire, you know after the Babylonian Empire, the Persians began to reign. We were able to set up our well, actually rebuild our temple uh, under Cyrus, you know, which you could read about in Second Chronicles. I want to say the 28th chapter. You know, we were able to build the temple and things of that nature, which was discontinued and then again eventually finished during the time of Darius. See, but when the Persians was ruling, they were peaceable. You know, they allowed us all the tributaries, you know, to follow after their own culture. They just had to pay tribute. You see, so you have Artaxerxes. He's getting counsel on how he can further, you know, run that well his kingdom in a peaceable manner. You see, go ahead, Op.
Con. Verse 3, it says, Now when I had asked my counselors how this might be brought to pass, Amen, that excelled in wisdom among us, and was approved for his constant good will and steadfast fidelity, and had the honor of the second place in the kingdom, us that in all nations throughout the world there was scattered a certain malicious people that had laws contrary to all nations, and continually despised the commandments of kings.
What,
So at
you know who he's talking about, huh? He's talking about us here.
Yep.
Look at that word malicious, man. This is what the so-called white man does, man.
Mm.
This is what he do. You know
Yep.
that word malicious, just for edification's sake, man. That's why the Apostle Gabar says it's so important to look up things, man. It said that word malicious means characterized by malice, intending or intended to do harm. So here it is. You had uh, Hammond demonizing us as terrorists.
Mm.
You see, he calling us terrorists. He's saying these guys they're malicious. You know, they're thugs. You know, the
Mm.
malice, the intent or desire to do evil, ill will. And why did he say that? Why did he say that we have ill that we're malicious? It's going to expound. Go ahead, up.
Con. It says that had laws contrary to all nations and continually despised the commandments of kings, so as the uniting of our kingdoms, honorably intended by us, cannot go forward.
So they have laws that are contrary to all the other nations. Why is that? Because we had the law, statute, and commandments that we are to tediously abide by. And the other nations, they don't have the law, statute, commandments, you know? So that makes us a threat. You see? The understanding of these scriptures make us a threat. You see? And it made us a threat in ancient times. It's going to make us a threat, now, though, going into those men that are standing up for the will of Yahweh by Shem Shai. You see? Go ahead, Art.
Con. It says in verse 5, seeing then we understand that this people alone is continually in opposition unto all, differing in the strange manner of their laws, and evil affected to our state, working all the mischief they can, that our kingdom may not be firmly established.
So, you know, what are we out here doing? Well, we out here saying how this place is being ran is wicked. We're calling out pedophilia. We're calling out these unrighteous decrees. We're calling out the that thick clay that America has laden itself in and has encapsulated the world in. We're speaking out against that. You see, so that makes us a threat. You see, we're working manner of mischief in the eyes of the elite, on down to the Joe Sixpack, self-proclaimed white man. We are a problem. You see? Go ahead, Doc.
God, it says, verse 6, it says, therefore have we commanded that all they that are signified in writing unto you by Amen, who is ordained over the affairs, and is next unto us, shall all, with their wives and children, be utterly destroyed by the sword of their enemies, without all mercy and pity, the 14th day of the 12th month Adar of this present year.
And doesn't that sound so much like what we just read here with the what's that? The dumb the various
Yep, dumb diverses. Yep.
versus like I don't know why I keep on saying that wrong thing wrong. The dumb diverses sounds extremely similar to it. You see, but they painted, you know, the northern tribe and the southern tribe as heathens. You see, but they didn't follow after Christianity. You see, it's the same. It's the same mo, man. It's the same thing, but using these different feigned words, man. You know, and the Most High sees all these things. He's not gonna allow you to get away with this, Esau. That's why we're here to call you out. That's why you're being revealed in the latter days, and that's why the so-called white man is so upset, man. because he's starting to be revealed for that wicked person that he is. See what I'm saying? Get this in Second Thessalonians. Pull it up.
God. You want me to read it, bro?
Hey, please do. And if you have anything to say, my brother, it's our platform, ain't just mine.
God.
Start at verse 3.
You said start at verse 3?
Yeah, Second
Okay.
Thessalonians 2 and 3.
God. 2 Thessalonians 2 and 3, it says, let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition.
Now, that man of sin is being revealed. The son of perdition is being revealed. Who is the son of perdition? The Edomites. See,
God.
he's being revealed. Now we start to understand. We, via this truth, we're putting two and two together. For years, when you were in the world, you wonder like, man, why is the so-called white man allowed? If there's a God, why is he allowed to do all this wickedness? And God's not doing nothing about it. That was a question that I would ask frequently. I believed in the Most High, I believed in the scriptures, but I just couldn't. I didn't understand, how he was allowing, the Most High was just, for lack of a better term, what I'm saying, allowing for all these things to happen, man. And I was curious about, you know, the judgment of white people. I was very intrigued, because they claim to be Christians, they claimed they believed in Christianity wholeheartedly. They believed in Jesus before they died. I was just like, damn, are they gonna be able to go to heaven? Now we starting to understand, with this truth, we understand what's going on. This is the son of perdition that's written about in the scriptures. That's why he is hell bent on destroying you so-called Negro, Latinos, and Native Americans, man. You see? And he's opposed to the Most High. Go ahead, Doc.
Continue on. It says in verse 4, who opposeth and exalteth above all that is called the Most High, or that is worshipped, so that he, as the Most High, sitteth in the temple of the Most High, showing himself that he is the Most High.
You see that? And who has done that? Who has done that, man? The so-called white man, with his decrees, with his his literature. You see, this is a prime example of his decrees. His literature, you know, going into the beginning of anthropology, Johannes Blumenbach. You know, he said that Adam and Eve were in fact white. Going smooth off, bro. And he's deemed as the father of anthropology, by the way.
Yeah.
With his art that you just brought out before we began with Cesare Borgia. That's a prime example. He set himself up as if he's God. You see, these various ways. Now we understand who this man is, who the Edomites are. You see? Go ahead, Al.
Continuing on in verse 5, it says, remember ye not that when I was with you, that when I was yet with you, I told you these things? And now ye know that withholdeth that he might be revealed in his time.
Mm-hmm.
For the mystery of iniquity doeth already work. Only he who now letteth will let.
That's right. Go ahead, Al.
Until he be taken out of the way.
And we are in that time to where the Edomites are going to be taken out of the way. Most High sets you up on the left hand to be basically a whooping stick for the nation of Israel, for us going off. You see, there's balance. He lets you rule, and you rule in wickedness. And so the Most High is going to take you down, man. He's going to take you down by your own ways and set up the kingdom of heaven. Go ahead, Continue
on. in verse 8 it says, "And then shall that wicked be revealed, whom the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai shall consume with the spirit of his mouth,
That's right.
and shall destroy with the brightness of his coming."
That's right. So the Most High is revealing him with the spirit of his mouth. And who's the spokesman for Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua? We are. We are revealing this the Edomites. We are letting them know, these people know, our people, and them, any heathens know who the son of perdition is, which is you self-proclaimed white people, man. You have done all this wickedness on the planet Earth, and the Most High has bestowed us this knowledge to reveal who you are, in the latter days, man, which we are living in the last days. You see, we are here to set up. We are set up to cast down wickedness with our mouth, with the spirit of truth. You see, with these scriptures. That's why he's so-called white man is so mad. That's why he's gonna make a move on us. You see, so it's very important. With that being said, very important for brothers to be circumspect in the times that you're living in. You know, while we're out there on the highways and byways, things of that nature. Be salty. Bring out these scriptures. Let these other people go crazy. We got the word. We don't have to do all that madness. You see? Go ahead, huh?
Continue on. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and sayings and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness, perish not the love of the truth, that they might be saved.
Can you read that again? Now you kind of broke up.
Salakia. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 9. Even him whose coming is after the working of Satan with all power and signs and lying wonders, and with all deceivableness of unrighteousness in them that perish, because they received not the love of the truth, that they might be saved.
That's right. So our people who have agreed to take on, the Western culture or this Western hegemony. Case in point, guys like Kanye West and things of that nature, they're going to be destroyed. They're not going to be able to be saved by Yahweh Shem Shah. There's only going to be a small elect that's going to be in one mind, one accord, within following after Yahweh Shem Shah, man. You see, the rest of our people are going to be destroyed. 2/3 of our people are going to be destroyed, man.
God.
Go ahead, out.
Continuing on in verse 11. For the Most High shall send them strong delusion that they a lie, that they might be damned who believe not the truth, but had pleasure in unrighteousness.
That's right. So all these people, 2/3 of our people, they're gonna be destroyed right along with the heathen. Because why? They have became heathens. It talks about that in Jeremiah, the 9th chapter, and I want to say around like the 27th verse, 25th verse. That our people who agree with this wickedness, they're gonna be destroyed right along with the so-called white, with the self-proclaimed white man. You see, the Most High is gonna swallow up all these lying words that the so-called white man has been, able to perpetuate on the earth, throughout the earth for centuries. Now we're coming to the days to where these lies are about to be overcome with the truth. You see, and that being said, he's gonna make a last push because he knows that his time is short, man. But guess what? There's nothing he can do about it. Nothing you can do about it, man. Esau, there's nothing you can do about it, bro. It's over. It's over,
Efforts
man.
are futile.
Yeah, efforts are futile. You kill us all you want to. You look, man. You have done enough on the planet Earth. The Most High is gonna judge you, man. You see? That's why he's gonna accuse us, brothers. That's why he has to put out that narrative that we are extremists. You see, and best believe he's gonna lie in order to do that. Best believe that he'll use a false flag attack. He'll do all that just to cover up his tracks. But it's too late. You got other things to worry about. You worry about niggas on the street. You have other things to worry about, Esau. You have to be worried about Yahweh by Hashem Yahushua. And also the prophecies are coming to pass. You see? Let's get this last scripture, bro.
God is 12. It says, therefore joy and ye that dwell in them. Woe unto the habitants of the earth and to the sea, for the devil unto you have, because he knoweth that he hath but a short time.
That's right. So Satan, which we know that the devil, or you Edomites, the self-proclaimed white people, majority of you, you know, they're ready to gear up and kill us. And they're gonna use these lies, these false categories, like we read about in the 10th verse, false categories, you know, which is goes back to that word accuser. He's gonna use these lies and as a means, to take to roll on us, man. So that time is coming, but we should rejoice because we know within us, going through this hell, time of Jacob's trouble. Guess what, man? We got to get out of here, man. So do what you need to do, Esau. Hurry up, man. So we can get the hell up out of here. Do what you need to do, man. Okay, do what you need to do, and we rejoicing. Like the scriptures say, we're happy to see these things come to pass. We're happy to see the so-called white man, his family addressing us. You see what I'm saying? Why is that? So we can get up out of here, man. So hey, so say all praises to Yahweh by Yashim, Yahweh Shai by Yashim Kakadash. Double honor to the apostles and the others that rule well. And peace and blessings to you brothers out there that's kicking his word. And sincerity, also in truth, shalom.